You go to websites like a food delivery app or a taxi ride app. One thing you will find pretty common is they are asking for your location. In case of a food delivery app, the location requirement is due to the nature of the food delivery app. They need your location to deliver food on time quickly. Same goes for a taxi service app. They need your location for pickup and drop. Now, how do you think this location fetching service is integrated in these apps? Do they have their own maps or are they leasing someone's on rent? Well, the latter one is true. Let's understand all about APIs. API stands for Application Programming Interface. It's essentially a set of rules and protocols that defines how different software can interact with each other. Now, what does that mean in real life? Let's say we have two programs, program A and program B. Consider these programs as a person in real life. If we want program A and B to talk to each other because they provide different pieces of functionality and we want them to work together, then we would need them to be able to communicate to each other. Now at this point, both of them speaks different languages and do not understand each other. So what can we do? Well, we can build an interface in between these two programs so that they know how to interact with each other through this bridge in the middle. That is essentially what an API does. It bridges the communication between different pieces of software. Coming to our original example, both the services, the food delivery app and the taxi service app, uses Google Maps to locate their users. This is the very simple example of an API at use. These companies do not need to develop their maps because not only building one is costly and expensive, it is also unnecessary. So they pay a little amount to use Google Maps services. Now let's take another example. Let's say you are developing a diary website where users will write about their day. And with each submission, you are also going to display a suitable icon next to it. In this case, the update is related to weather, so we are going to show a little nice weather icon next to the text. Now users can manually update the icons also, but you don't need to manually create icons for different types of weather condition. It would be much convenient if the icon is selected automatically based on the recent weather data. So you look online and you find a website, Open Weather, that has a backend where latest data related to latest weather conditions are updated frequently, plus the data for all the locations are available. Perfect. This is what you need. Now all you need is to be able to talk to OpenWeather's server so that you can bring their weather data into your Notes website. So how do you do that? You don't know what their database is written in. It could be some sort of programming language you have never heard of. You don't know how to access their backend servers. You don't know what are the rules that are governing those servers. So you basically have absolutely no idea about how to interact with OpenWeather's API. And that's where the API comes in to save you. In this case, OpenWeather creates an API that tells you how you can interact with their services. If you want data from them, then there are these things you can access. For example, you can get longitude, latitude, or how the data is structured. For example, what is the format? Is it JSON, BSON, and also like what are the data that we are getting, like weather type, temperature, icon, etc, right? Next you have to do then is to make a request from your website through this API to say, well, these are the things that I want, and now because you have this interface and you know how to interact with their service, you are able to get all this data back and populate it into your website. This is one example of API where we are fetching something. But let's say you want to have a website where you want to let people sign up for your newsletter so that they can get your recent updates. But where does this all data get stored, like email and etc? Now, what if you want to send your email using a service called MailChimp? And you want to send this email using MailChimp, and you want to be able to send email that you collect each time on your website into a database on your MailChimp account. How would you do this? Again, using an API. You are going to read the documentations of MailChimp, get to know how to work with their API, and then all you are going to do is you are going to make a post request. So this is a very simple example of different types of API. Now there are different architectural styles of APIs. These are how APIs are created. We have Graph Query Language, SOAP API, gRPC, REST API. These are patterns and structures that follows a set of rules. Now the one we are going to learn is REST API, because this is the most popular and most commonly used form of API. So with this, let's get started and let's learn all about APIs. Because this is a backend course, we really do not have to invest too much time in understanding things using the presentation mode, because I like to show steps by writing code. So let's jump directly into the coding department and let's learn all about API practically.